Okay, welcome to the season finale of post-game car recap, because I won't be going to the final two home games, but hey, we got some positivity. I gotta warm the car up. It's a little chilly. Yeah, we can probably start going. So as we grind on the snow. Nothing like getting that first big snowfall and then getting immediately followed up with a whole bunch of really cold weather, so the snow can't even melt like in the 30-degree sun. Okay, so it's been a miserable season, but today was a good day. Vikings win. You know, I did think they were going to win. I kind of thought like this was probably their best chance left to win. We got the Giants in a couple weeks. Maybe they can win that. But I didn't expect them to win like this. 31-0. They beat the Washington Commanders. I believe I dubbed this the "We Wish It Was Still 2024" Bowl, because I think the Vikings and the Commanders are the two teams that have probably fallen off the most record-wise from last year to this year. I suppose the Chiefs are probably right up in there too. So it's obviously different reasons for our two seasons going in the tank a little bit. But 31-0, Vikings beat Washington. First home shutout since 1993. I think I saw that was against Tampa Bay. And their biggest, in terms of margin of victory, biggest shutout win since 1980. And I didn't see who that was against, so I'll have to look that up. So we're talking, the latter days of the Bud Grant era, the last time they shut out a team this badly. And I don't want to hear, and look, records are what they are. Like, fantastic performance by the defense. I mean, because they did, Washington did put Jaden Daniels back out there today. He'd been out for a while. I thought, he had that injury, that really ugly elbow injury. I think it was either on a Sunday night game or a Monday night game. And you thought his season was over. They put him out there. They had him play. So I don't want to hear, and then obviously, Washington's got a lot of other weapons. All right. Well, it's still clicking. It's still clinging there. So I guess we're still in business. Hey, this is the last one of the year. Why not? Who cares? So I mean, fantastic performance by the defense. Washington first drive, they get down to, I believe, the 2, and we put on a little goal. Well, they got inside the 10 first, and then we put on a little goal line stand. Stuffed them on a couple plays, and they forced a couple incompletions, and a nice goal line stand. It was lost in the shuffle from last week, but the defense played very, very well against Seattle. Frankly, the defense, for all the faults and for all the complaints this season, and many of them justified, the defense has been on a pretty good run here of playing well, because obviously they've been put in terrible spots by the offense so many times. But goal line stand, they played great today. Obviously, first, going over to the offensive side. Look, I've dubbed him Strychnine. I've been as hard on him as anybody. I've called him a bust. I still think he's a bust, frankly. But like, JJ McCarthy was fine today. He was fine. If he had played like this, against the Bears and the Eagles and the Ravens, and the Packers, like the Vikings would be right in the mix for the playoffs if he played like that in those games. Now, there was all this talk this week about, they're simplifying, Kevin O'Connell's simplifying the offense. I don't know what that exactly means. I know just watching the plays today, everything was quick. There weren't these like long developing pass plays. almost every run was like a real quick handoff, dart up the middle. It's just basic stuff that we haven't done, and a lot of times haven't even tried to do all season or most of the season. So I don't know, as far as like the passing game today, like there wasn't anything splashy. McCarthy ended up with 3 touchdowns, no picks. The first touchdown, he hit Josh Oliver for 2 of them. The first one was a really nice throw, right? First drive of the game, they have a nice little kick return, and then they go and put together a nice little drive and go down, score, and 7-zip. I just gotta make sure this is make sure that's secure. We don't want it to fall. I don't want to try adjusting it on the fly, even in slow traffic. It was a really nice drive, nice run pass mix, 7-0. And then Washington goes down the field and we get the goal line stand, and then we get the most unlikeliest of drives that I've seen in years. Because after the goal line stand, the 2025 Minnesota Vikings, the team that has been offensively challenged all year, that has really struggled to sustain drives. We struggle to even when the offense is kind of going good, it's like real short drives. How does a 12-minute drive covering 98 yards and 19 plays sound? I think I saw that was their longest drive in terms of time of possession since like 2000 or something like that. And one of the longest. It's hard to have a drive longer than 12 minutes. I think in the 41 donut game, the Giants might have put one of those on us right at the end of the game. It's really hard to do that, but they did it because I think they were 5 of 5 on third down. A couple real nice throws mixed in there from McCarthy. Good running, again, it's the mix of plays. Very good stuff. And then that was what was that? That was Jordan Mason, I think, with the touchdown run. It contributed to the first half taking literally about an hour. I literally think we hit halftime about an hour after kickoff. It's like, what is this team? Where and it's frustrating. And I know, like, it's kind of two things. It's like, where was this team all season? Where has this been all season? And then also, we are playing Washington. Washington's defense has been pretty bad this year. They have a lot of offensive talent, but their defense has been pretty bad. So that's why I'm not like getting like excited, newly like excited about McCarthy or anything, but it's just the approach. Like it hasn't even been like who we're playing. It's just been the approach on offense that's driven me insane so many of these games this year. Because Kevin O'Connell didn't go away from the run today. He didn't. He ran a lot on 3rd and short. I couldn't believe it. He really kept with the run game. I think the final total was like 165 yards for McCarthy and 163 yards on the ground. That's fucking perfect. That's they always like to say complimentary football. Well, that's how you do it. By using both sides. And Washington was never like seriously in the game again. They crossed the 50 a couple times, but they never had a real serious threat to score again. And then the second half, we kind of added on a little bit, courtesy of a couple turnovers. Gink, we almost got a Gink 6. He kind of did that jump the route thing, and I believe they got a field goal off of that. And then, the next one was Harrison Smith. I got a little emotional when Harrison Smith got his interception because I have probably, and this is probably the case for a lot of people, considering how many games he's played with the franchise. I've probably seen Harrison Smith play football for the Vikings more than any other player. It's probably not even like close. The only other guy I could think of, there's only maybe a couple other guys who might be in the mix. And he gets in there, and he's obviously hasn't done much this year. He did have a good game. He had like one nice play on Daniels, I think in the first half, where Daniels was trying to run for a first down, and Harrison Smith bumped him, got him out of bounds. But Harrison Smith got an interception. Because I don't think I'll be going to the other 2 home games this season. I definitely won't be going to the Christmas one. So this is probably my last time ever seeing Harrison Smith play football. And he gets an interception. And, the dork in me got a little emotional from that. And kind of reminded me a little bit of when Chad Greenway got that pick 6 against the Chargers in 2015, when you knew his career was kind of, it was getting to the end of his career, and then he gets that, if it had been a Harrison Smith pick 6, I might have bowled. Who knows? But it was just nice to see. He hadn't had a pick yet this year. I mean, we hadn't had a pick as a team since week 3. I don't know what it is. I don't know what it is about this season. Me sitting in different seats than my season ticket seats, because I sit in my season ticket seats 4 times this year. We lose all 4 games. I sit on the north side of the stadium in different seats twice. And what would the combined total be then? 79-10? Bengals game, Commanders game. I don't know what it is. Maybe I need to switch my tickets to the other side of the stadium. Yeah, I mean, we have been a good home team this year. That's been another part of our problem. This was the second home win, and I still think it's dubious that we're going to be able to beat the Lions or Packers in our final 2 home games, because those teams are really going to be playing for something. So I think it was after the Harrison Smith pick, then we get the second touchdown to Oliver, and then we get another one later in the game to Hawkinson. I think they were trying at a couple points to try to get Justin Jefferson in the end zone. It was like the one kind of long pass the whole game that McCarthy threw was an end zone shot to Jefferson. It would have been a hell of a catch, but it was kind of a near miss. I think that might have been the drive when they scored with Hawkinson anyway. But the offense was really balanced. They had a pretty clean game. They didn't commit too many penalties, just a couple in there. I know it's against poor competition, but the Commanders were coming in today saying, "Hey, we're playing poor competition. Let's go get a win." It's like we've blown some games against some bad teams. That Falcons loss early in the season looks worse and worse. Atlanta got eliminated from the playoffs today. They got blown the hell out at home by Seattle. Kirk did not have a very good stat line. I looked at that. And Daniel Jones, also in former Vikings news, I guess his season's over. He hurt his Achilles, so that's probably the end of the line for the Colts. Tampa Bay lost at home to New Orleans. Figure that shit out. I can't figure out this league this year. It's really hard to get a grasp of teams from week to week. Like the Bengals were going to beat the Bills in Buffalo, and then the Bills had a big comeback. So who knows what's going to happen? Packers and Bears are playing right at this moment. I would think the Packers will probably win that, but who knows? But yeah, for the Vikings, it's like, I wish we had seen more of this year. At least we're not officially eliminated yet. I think I saw that we can only get in the playoffs if the Packers lose out. So I think we still could technically be eliminated today. I'm not totally sure. I'm not 100% sure on that, but I mean, it's a matter of when, not if. Flip a couple of those losses that shouldn't have been losses into wins. We're still playing for some, but that's just how it goes. Very disappointing season, and the season's not over. I mean, we've got 4 games left. We got. I think they're still. I don't think they flexed off of Sunday Night Football, so I think it's next Sunday night we're playing Dallas, and then we go to the Giants, and then we got Lions here on Christmas Day, and then Packers final week of the season. That could be like a Saturday or a Sunday. I think we should have seen more of some of the stuff we saw today all season. But if nothing else, like if you're just at this point, I know the tank Nazis are probably mad that we won this game because all they care about is draft position. The draft stuff's gonna figure itself out, and who knows who's gonna be making the draft selections. We don't know who that's even gonna be. But if you're a Vikings fan like me who's just suffering a miserable lost season and just wanted to have something to kind of grab onto to give you some hope. Again, it's just Washington, but this was the most obviously, I mean, this was the most complete game we've seen from the team that it was supposed to be all season. Obviously, that Bengal game was a blowout win, but of course we were doing that with Carson Wentz, who we didn't plan to have in the mix. We did have J.J. McCarthy planned. So again, I'm not jumping back. I was never on the McCarthy bandwagon. I'm not jumping back on any bandwagon or jumping onto it or anything like that. I think this was just a cold drink of water in the desert. I think this was like we needed it. Maybe there's some hope. Maybe if there is something to this whole simplifying things for McCarthy. I mean, if he could just be a capable game manager type of quarterback, you can work with that. You can build off of that, and you can build a roster for 2026 off of that. I mean, there's nothing I can see the rest of the season where I can say, oh, it's just McCarthy's job in 2026, no questions asked, and we're not even going to bother with like getting a real backup quarterback. No, you're getting somebody who can play, and you're going to have a competition at quarterback, or it's neglecting the roster. But look, credit where credit's due. J.J. McCarthy had a pretty decent game today. He didn't make any big mistakes. He got the ball out quick. When there were open receivers, he threw it on target. It's like basic stuff, but he hasn't been doing it. He hasn't done it most of the time. So I'm sure some of the JJ cult will really be doing like, see, told you so. No, it ain't see, told you so. We're a long way from see, told you so. But at least, he played a capable game. I mean, he's going to be facing a couple more bad defenses here coming up. Build something. Give us Vikings fans some reason to have some hope going into 2026. 2025 is a fucking lost season. Has been now for a few weeks. Rock bottom was the Brosburg game. That gave me McCarthy, but it was rock bottom here for the last couple weeks, and hopefully that is the rock bottom. Like that, like it will never get that bad again. But I'm also not. There's only so much you can celebrate about a win to go to 5-8. There's just only so much you can celebrate when you go into a season thinking you can at least be a playoff team. But as just for me personally, for a swan song for the season at US Bank Stadium, I'm glad we won the game. It's cool that we got a shutout, and until next year with that, and hopefully the body of work at home next year is a lot better than it was this year, and that's all you can do is hope. It's a wait till next year league. If you have a bad season, it's a league of quick turnarounds, and maybe we can still do something next season and do something with this quarterback, and maybe, like, a lot of quarterbacks can win when the defense shuts the team out, but credit where credit's due. McCarthy had a good game. Vikings had a great game. 31-zip. We win for shutout at home in over 30 years. Biggest shutout win in well over 40 years. You never know what you might see when you always think you know what you might see, but you never know for sure. So 4 games left to finish out the season, and it ain't gonna be a playoff season, but maybe we can still finish out strong and maybe play spoiler, or maybe just play well and give us some hope for next year. So that's it for car recaps, though, unless I just come out into the garage and sit in the car. But it would be doing the recaps in a nice warm house for the rest of the game. A little cold today, so that's it. Vikings 31 nothing winners, and that's it for this game, and we're on to Dallas.